What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? I know it's a little late. This was supposed to come out yesterday. It's Sunday. Uh, Man, just life, you know. Yeah. So as you know, I got the title on, so that means this is a review for Monday night. Oh, I almost said the wrong show. Friday night Smackdown. uh. Yeah, so let's get into it before I mess up even more. They started off with a recap of Edge versus Seth Rollins from last week, and this episode, I will say right off the rip, even though last week was a very good episode. This was a major improvement because I think we actually got like two, maybe three more matches than we had last week. Yeah, 'cause I think last week only had like 3 to 4 matches, and it was mostly promos. But I think this week we actually had a decent balance of promos and matches. Not every promo was too long, so that a match could actually take place, so somebody could get some shine. So, but yeah, they recapped a little bit of what happened to Edge and Seth Rollins, because I guess Seth Rollins was going to have a promo later on, which I'll get to that too, because that was kind of a weird promo. Like that, I'll talk about it when I get to that point. But it made this this little recap was weird because it made it seem like Seth Rollins was about to start the show, but the show starts with a Roman Reigns promo, and he basically comes out and he says, "Knoxville, acknowledge me," and then they kind of like boos him. They kind of like boo him and stuff like. So he's like. He just look and he's like, "Wise man, tell Knoxville how to properly acknowledge me." And Paul Heyman, he just goes into this rant about how good Roman Reigns was. I think he said like how he acknowledged Roman Reigns' greatness even since he was a kid, and that he was truly like this specimen. And then he goes on into how Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor fears Roman Reigns. I think he starts with Finn Balor first, saying if Finn Balor wasn't afraid of Roman Reigns, why did Finn Balor have to tap into his more darker demonic side just to face the Universal Champion for his title? And that he said then he went to Brock Lesnar, said Brock Lesnar in his usual Brock Lesnar announcement tone. He said he's known Brock Lesnar intimately on a professional level. He said for like 20 years, I think he said, more than his own family. And he said that in all those years he never saw like fear on the eyes of the beast incarnate, and that. He said, but when last week in Madison Square Garden for the first time, he saw fear in the eyes of the beast. And then, he said, oh no, the way how he said it was, what I see when I looked in Brock Lesnar's eyes last week. And then also Big E's intro music hit, and then he was like fear. So Big E would end up coming out. He didn't really like get on the mic. He just came because he was a SmackDown superstar, so he came and celebrated his major WWE Championship win on Monday. And he basically was like raising the title, celebrating, saying I did it. I also like that the Sopranos. Inspired. I think that was supposed to be like the Sopranos inspired jacket he had on. It looked like the new his jacket, which had him, Xavier, and Kofi on there, and it said the New Day, but it looked like it was in the style format of the Sopranos. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure I thought that was the Sopranos. Yeah, so he basically goes around, celebrating. Then he gets in the ring, kept raising up the title. Then he stops, raises up the title, and then goes like this to Roman Reigns, and basically try to say he's say I guess signaling that he was the better champion. And then, Roman raising up his title. I like how instead of having him extend his hand up in the air, they just had him hold it like he held it like this, basically to his chest, while Roman just took his and went like that with it. I'm like, why do they keep having champions do that with Roman Reigns? Like, why is it's like that's weird to me. Like, story wise, I don't understand the story wise. Why do Roman get to go like this, but everybody else keep going like, no, I'm the champ. Even Drew McIntyre did it. Like, he would just go like this and hold it here, but they had Roman go up here. Like, they try. It was like, to me, they trying to say that the Universal Championship is better than the WWE Championship by showing that the one champion don't even raise his title in the air while the other one does. Like, but the thing is, the Universal Championship is never going to be better than the WWE, because this was the first main title in the history of the company. So it was like, I don't know how this could be better, you know? I mean, how could the Universal be better? I think, then Finn Balor comes out, too. Then Finn Balor comes out and confronts Roman. Not as Demon Finn Balor, but just regular, the Prince Finn Balor. And this would lead, like I said, no words were said, just stare downs. And this will lead into the first match of the night, which is a tag team match. Big E and Finn Balor versus the Usos. This match was a good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, it was a great way to open a great way to open the show. I ain't had no problems with it. You know, it was good. It was action packed. It kept you engaged. They did, they kept, the pandering to the crowd, getting the crowd involved and whatnot. Everything was good. Everything was on point, so I really enjoyed it. But your winners were Big E and Finn Balor. But there would be consequences to this, to the first match and the promo later on in the night. The second match would be Rick Boogs versus Robert Roode. This was an okay match. I wouldn't say it was the best match, but it wasn't a bad match. It was just an okay match. Nothing I didn't dislike. It was short and sweet. Rick Boogs got the win, but what the best part about this match is what came afterwards, at least in my opinion. Apollo Crews would come out while they were celebrating with Pat McAfee on the commentary chair, where him and Aziz would come out and beat up both Rick Boogs and King Nakamura. This would lead to Apollo Crews getting in the ring and cutting a Black Panther like promo saying, "Is this your king?" I'm like, oh, okay. That was cool. He especially since he was talking his native Nigerian language. I mean, accent, I should say. He was like, "Is this your king?" And then he proceeded to basically make a challenge, because he said King Nakamura is disgracing the Intercontinental Championship and he wants a rematch. Which I think they later on the night they got that got actually revealed that it will be taking place next Friday. It will be King Nakamura versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. They also made a little teases about Survivor Series, but more on that stuff later, like Crown Jewel. I do want to take a moment to talk about that, because we do know the first match at Crown Jewel will be Roman. Well, not the first match, but the first match announced will be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. That's where Brock Lesnar will get his shot at the title. I don't know. I want to say it's not looking good for Roman, because the last time somebody defended the title at Crown Jewel, they ended up losing the title. It might have been. I think it was. I want to say, was it the Fiend versus Goldberg? I think it was. And I think Goldberg won the title off the Fiend. But yeah, moving on. We had the third match, which was supposed to be the third match, which was supposed to be Kevin Owens versus Happy Corbin. I guess they really gonna go with calling him Happy Corbin. I'm calling him Baron Corbin because Happy Corbin is stupid. This segment, I was going to find this segment stupid because I hate when they do a match, but then not hate, but I get annoyed. I think that's the better word to say when they do a match and it's a no contest because the character come out, and that's done right. And here it was done good. They was good in court. Kevin Owens had a little backstage promo talking about how he's gonna make Baron Corbin unhappy, and then he's gonna be happy Kevin Owens because he beat up Baron Corbin. And then he was saying some more stuff, and then that would lead to him getting attacked. Like during his intro, he was right by ringside, and Corbin came running down and beating him up. Still doing, and I give Baron Corbin that he's very dedicated to the character because he was still at certain points doing the beat down, you saw him having this vicious look on his face. But then when he would get a chance to, that would turn to that being Happy Corbin, he would start having a smile on his face, and sometimes he kept that smile while beating up Kevin Owens. But yeah, he beat down. Then he did a little, I want to say a mean choke slam on the ring apron to Kevin Owens. So the match ended in a no contest. We would get to Seth Rollins promo. Now this is what I want to deviate just for a little bit because a lot of things happen. So Seth Rollins come out soon after that Seth Rollins music hits, he comes out, gets ready to come and cut his promo. He does like he been doing. He gets in the ring, but then it goes to commercial break. It comes back, it does this little advertisement for different things, and then it goes backstage with Paul Heyman. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, did I miss something? I thought I missed something here because why is we backstage with Paul Heyman? So we backstage with Paul Heyman. This was a good promo he cut backstage. He basically gets scared out of nowhere by Kayla because Kayla wants to know about the accusations of him knowing about Brock Lesnar being at SummerSlam and all that type of stuff. And he basically cuts a promo on Kayla saying that no, you want to flirt with me, you want to be with the wise man of the tribal chief, but it's not going to happen, Kayla, because you just keep poke. He said, basically saying that she keeps trying to poke, and he said it's laughable because I think she said she had sources who said that he knew and all that type of stuff. He said you don't have sources. He said I don't know. I can't think was more laughable. The fact that you think I knew that Brock Lesnar was going to be at SummerSlam, or that you have sources. This is also backing off. I forgot earlier too. After the match with the Usos, there was a backstage promo with Roman Reigns basically questioning Paul Heyman about him, he kept saying, you got something you want to tell me? Paul Heyman kept saying no, and he was like, okay, let's pretend like I know something and you're going to tell me what it is. Because he's basically trying to say, Paul Heyman figured out that he was alluding to the fact that him knowing about Brock Lesnar being at SummerSlam, and he's basically reassuring him that Brock Lesnar fears him, and that why else would he make up this ridiculous mind game like story that he knew that he was going to be at SummerSlam? He reassures Roman that he didn't know nothing about it, and he basically didn't know that he was going to be at SummerSlam. And Roman's like, basically letting him know, but that's kind of the problem. I don't pay you to think I pay you to know ahead of time, and that's the problem. You keep saying you don't know, and I want you to know. That's why I call you the wise man, because you wise enough to know things before they happen. And you not knowing that he wasn't going to be there, that's kind of the problem. So this was what this backstage segment piggybacks off of. So that's why Kayla was asking him. Until then, he would after he get done telling Kayla off, he would turn and get scared about Big E, and Big E's like, He basically tried to, Paul Heyman was like, okay, congratulations. He said, thank you. That's basically what he wanted Paul Heyman to congratulate him. But then Paul Heyman does like a backhanded congratulations. He's like, congratulations on going to a champion that was vulnerable and that you could take the title from. Because we all know if you would have cashed it in on Roman Reigns, you would have failed and never became Universal Champion. And this is where the Survivor Series little tease came in, because he said, well, I guess we'll know at Survivor Series when me and Roman Reigns face each other. He said, if it's Roman Reigns, because he said it might be Brock Lesnar or Finn Balor because you overlooked him. And basically he would turn around and get super kicked and beat up by the Usos. They beat him up bad. This will lead into the Seth Rollins promo that I thought we missed, but it turns out this all was happening while Seth Rollins was still standing in the ring, and Seth Rollins was like, well, look like somebody really need to go back there and help Big E, and he like, so, but on to more pressing matters. So he goes to cut his promo, and he pretends to be sorry about, feel remorse about what happened last week, but then he said everybody keep asking, did he go too far, this and that and that. He said, Then that's when he turns to the heel and said, what did you think was going to happen? He said, that's my response to all the questions. What did you think was going to happen when Edge got back into the ring and this and that and that? And he said, you want to know who's that? Everybody want to call me the villain, call me the monster and the bad guy. But he said, you want to know whose fault it is? He said, is Edge fault for goading me, but he said, for more importantly, he blames the WWE Universe for goading Edge into goading him. So he said, it's not my fault. No, you want to make me the villain, fine, but the true people who have fault here is Edge and you people. He said, you people in this stinking city, and he reveals that if you didn't like what I just said, then you're really not going to like this. He said, I'm not done with Edge because he got to move on. But the only way he to move on is he got to end things with Edge soon. And he got to end things with Edge now, or when he needs to. So he told Ed, he changed it to one more match, and that he wants to do it one more time. And he wants to be Edge versus Seth Rollins. And he said, you got two options. Either I come find your house, and beat the holy hell out of you in front of your family and your wife and your kids, or you could drag what's left of you back to this ring, and we could do it one more time. This would go into the fourth match, but before the fourth match, because of the beatdown, they announced that on Monday Night Raw, for the first time in over a year, they said it will be the Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the New Day on Monday Night Raw. The fourth match was a match that we supposed to got last week, but they felt bad because we all seen Zelina Vega's tweets and stuff that they pretty much was ready. Like the gear that she wore to the ring this week was the gear she was supposed to wear last week. And they had her in gear and everything. She showed that she was in gear, and only to find out that she wasn't gonna be wrestling. So I'm happy for Zelina Vega and Carmella, Toni Storm, and Liv Morgan, who got to actually do their match instead of WWE just scrapping the whole thing and doing a different match with them or whatever. They actually got to do that. They actually put on the match that was supposed to happen last week, which was Zelina Vega and Carmella versus Toni Storm and Liv Morgan. This was a good match. It was a decent match in the beginning, but Liv Morgan, I guess, would catapult Carmella onto the turnbuckle, and Carmella was complaining that her nose was broken. So this would result in a countout, which would give Liv Morgan and Toni Storm the victory. But Liv would get upset and challenge Carmella to a match at Extreme Rules, saying she's tired of Carmella running around calling herself the most beautiful woman in WWE and running away from fights. So she wants to fight her at Extreme Rules. Like I said, the one thing I like that made up for the count out was that they're giving a significant push to Liv Morgan, and I wonder if they doing this because they want they try to compete with the fact that Ruby Riott or Ruby Soho is over in AEW and she's getting the main title shot, you know. So maybe they trying to do something similar with Liv Morgan. Maybe they trying to really properly build her up as a potential champion. This will lead to the next. This goes to the next match, which was Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn Part 3. It might have been around this time they announced the whole. It might have been either. It was either before the Zelina Vega and Carmella tag team match with Liv and them, or it might have been before this match. Either way, it was around this time. It was. I know it was before the Bianca Belair promo, homecoming promo, that they announced the Roman Reigns and the Usos versus New Day. But yeah, the Dominic Mysterio Sami Zayn Part 3. The match was okay. I didn't really have a problem with it. I just didn't get a good picture, a good clear picture of where they were trying to go with this. This is trying to turn Dominic heel against his father. Is the frustration of losing to Sami Zayn 3 times is going to get to him? What was they? I guess that's probably the answer to my question, but I don't know, man. I feel like to get invested in this, I need a clearer picture. I need a better little story to go along with this, because just watching Dom losing 3 times to Sami Zayn is not really doing nothing for me. But yeah, then we would get the final segment of the night, which is Bianca Belair's homecoming promo, and we get a surprise visit from Knoxville's mayor, aka the Devil's favorite demon, Kane. Kane comes out, to introduce Bianca and basically give Bianca the key to the city. Which I'm like, come on, man. We couldn't get Bianca a better looking key. I was expecting the legit, real key to the city type key, but we could at least make it look a little bit better than that. That was like a cardboard cutout. Maybe I'm nitpicking. Maybe it just looked bad to see her hold that. It was cringe bad. But yeah, she basically talked how she's glad to be home and she in front of her hometown people, and that it's been a little rough for her, but that that she's feeling great, and that at Extreme Rules she will be winning back her women's championship. Smackdown Women's Championship, and Kane told her to basically, when she does, to come back so they can throw a proper party for her. But this will bring out Becky Lynch. They start singing I guess a hometown song that everybody knows. This will bring out Becky Lynch, who basically tries to say, Kane lied to you. You won't be winning your the SmackDown Women's Championship. She said, but tonight is your night, because it wasn't really your night at SummerSlam, and it won't be your night at Extreme Rules. But tonight is your night. We're gonna let you have it. She tried to be a big sport. They shake hands, but then Bianca won't let go, to which results in the fight. But I think Becky would get the upper hand and do the Rock's Bottom, and that would end the show. All in all, I guess a 9.5, because it wasn't a bad show at all. It was a decent show, and it showed that 9.5 big ups, I should say. I know I always say big ups, but yeah, it wasn't a bad show. It was a decent show. It had decent things, and it showed that you can actually put on a good show if your back's against the corner, because you got competition who also doing it. But that's all I got. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this past week's SmackDown. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my wrestling reviews. And if you really want to support the channel because you enjoyed the video so much, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button as well. And hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go nowhere. I got something else for you. Peace.